So Teairra Marí is a free agent, and is Chris Brown casting spells?
Well, he's a cutie pie. I might put him in Potomac. Okay, yes. Yeah, he can come right on to Potomac.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Richie Scott, and we are back with another video. If you have not subscribed to this channel, hit that button down below. What are you waiting for? And hit that notification bell button, because we are bringing you news, interviews, how-tos, and all of that stuff on a day-to-day basis all the time. And also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at DJ Richie Scott, so you can see the behind the scenes of my life if you are so inclined to. All right, so let's get into the news. Singer Teairra Marí is currently making the press rounds. Not really sure why, but she was on the Breakfast Club. But sources are saying that she's not returning to Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. And to be quite honest with y'all, let's do some real talk, shall we? This is probably for the best. Listen. So I just moved out of LA last year, and I've done reality television before. Luckily for me, the type of show that I did was, I was solo, so I had my own group of friends. It was all about me, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like when you have an ensemble cast and it's sort of like the show is based on drama, I feel like you have to have a really strong mind and will to do those types of shows, right? So given everything that has gone on with Teairra Marí, I almost feel like she probably needs to go. I don't necessarily know whether or not she was fired. This is what the sources are reporting. Going over to the Jasmine brand, I will put the link to the article in the description of this video down below if you want to read more. This is probably for her, the best thing for her. I know that it's interesting that a character like Moniece, not a character, but a person like Moniece, she's been trying to get out of her contract from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood for a minute. And I don't know if she is expediting that by jumping to Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and then potentially going back to Hollywood for her final season. I'm not sure what's going to happen with that, but what I do know is that it's not easy to get out of those contracts, and I don't necessarily know if Teairra was at the end of hers or if they just cut ties with her or she just chose not to come back and they parted amicably. What I do know is, like I said, this is probably for her benefit. Because if you guys haven't seen the Breakfast Club interview with her that just came out today, where she's basically detailing everything that's going down with this lawsuit with her and 50 Cent. As we know, she did not have to pay him in the lawsuit because she sued and she lost. But she has to pay for his legal fees. So the legal fees are a sum total of $30,000. So they've been going back and forth over the past couple of weeks or months, really months at this point, because he basically showed her sex tape on his Instagram. He reposted it after it was posted to her Instagram page. Now, given that we saw all of this stuff play out on Love and Hip Hop, I would almost be inclined to say there's nothing more that we could see from her. You know, she's going to rehab. She has, had her stint there. She's dealt with alcohol. It's been a lot of heavy stuff for her on this show. And quite frankly, I feel like they almost need to go in a lighter direction, because I feel like that drama was so heavy. Now, she did give us some good scenes last season, but I kind of feel like we don't really need to see any more of that. And then to watch this interview with her on the Breakfast Club, I actually feel, I don't want to say sorry for her, because that's not the right term. I feel empathy for her, because you can see that this situation has definitely taken its toll on her. You can definitely see that. And even Charlemagne and DJ Envy, they commented on how she almost seemed a little broken down, if that makes any sense. And I feel like reality TV has almost done that to her. Now, I can tell you guys firsthand, working in the entertainment industry, it is and it can be a very cutthroat business. I think I've experienced that. I think a lot of people in the industry have experienced it. And with the magnitude of the way she's experienced these things, she's taken a lot of L's publicly. And so I almost think maybe it's time for her to depart. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention, here's the thing. In the interview, you know, Charlamagne was doing his best to try to tally up, like, it's $30,000, right? Now, for those of you who watch at home, you might assume that because she's on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, that she's raking in the dough. Because we see reality stars like NeNe Leakes bringing in 2.85 million for this next season of Housewives, is what we're hearing, allegedly. One would think that somebody who was on a show like Love and Hip Hop, granted, she's not a NeNe Leakes, but you would be thinking that she would be making a couple of $100,000 for the year, right? But given that she couldn't just drop this $30,000 and she has to wait for the payment plan because she's sticking to this whole situation of really paying him back, Kirk, 50 Cent back the $30,000. It was really telling in watching that interview that she really wasn't making that much money. So now, if we put our thinking caps on even further than that, that tells me that your life has gone to this stage and you ain't even making that much money off of it. So you need to go. You need to go because that contract is probably not worth everything that you've been through or kind of put yourself through. So Teairra, I would say to you, and I'm now wondering how much she was making per season. Maybe 60,000 or 30. You know, and that show isn't a Housewives show, so it's not as big per se. So I don't know what their budgets look like. I don't know what those checks look like. To be very honest with you, I'm speculating right now, but I'm assuming it's not that much. And if it's not that much and you're exposing this much of your life, I almost feel like, yeah, it's time for you to go. It's time for you to do something else. Unless you're making all your money in appearances. And I don't really notice she out there like that. So I don't know. Anyway, in other news, is Chris Brown casting spells? So we got to get into this because this is one of the most ridiculous stories I've ever heard. But listen, people like a conspiracy. And I don't know if this is that, but let me get into it for you. So apparently TMZ is reporting that a lady traveled across the country to reverse a spell she believed Chris Brown placed on her son. She made her way to his house and threw a Bible over his wall. Police were called, and when they arrived, she told them that she and her child caught a flight from Texas to Los Angeles to dismantle the voodoo she says she has reason to believe Chris Brown used to ruin their lives. She was taken in for mental evaluation, and her child was placed in protective custody. Fortunately, Brown wasn't at home at the time of the upsetting ordeal as he was out partying with his pal Designer in Calabasas. Lady, come on now. Like, I understand we might believe that some of these celebrities are a part of the Illuminati, but at the end of the day, can we just, this is probably one of the more ridiculous pieces of news, but I just thought I would bring y'all something random today because it just caught my eye. Like, is this where we're going right now? Is this where we're going? You know, I really want to say this. This is my thoughts on Chris Brown as he just turned 30. You know, I'm really hoping that Chris Brown takes the Diddy route, the Jay-Z route, and I'm really hoping that he is able to just sort of mature. You know, he's a father now. I think that he is probably one of the most talented individuals of this generation that is on a public stage right now, because I think there are a lot of people that are talented out there, but I'm just saying, I think he's got it. He's got it. So I want to see him win. and we both VA boys. I want to see him go as far as he possibly can. So I hope that he stays out of trouble as he continues to go about his career and drop this new album, Indigo. That's what we really want to see from you. We want to hear more music. We want to see you on more stages. We want to see you on bigger platforms. We want to see you aligning with major sponsors. That's what we want to see, Kris, because we want our children to see what they can be as well. So anyway, that's the news that we got for y'all right now. This is your boy Richie Sky with Reality Talk with Richie, giving you the juice like I see it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting on? Hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that notification bell button because you don't know when we coming at y'all with new videos. And follow me on Instagram and Twitter at DJ Richie Sky, and I will catch you guys in the next video.